Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and today I want to talk about what would you do? So, I was talking to someone who believes in God today, and I was saying, about what's been happening with me and for the last 3 years and whatever. And, everybody's under some type of attack or whatever. And he's friends with some really lovely Christian people who are helping him out, man and wife. Everything seems really great for them. And he goes to a church and it's all spiritual nourishment and nice things like this. But most of the churches had their vaccines and, they're really promoting vaccines and flu jabs and all this kind of nonsense. And I was saying, it does make me wonder. It really does, right? About everything. What's happened to me for 3 years. And so I said to my friend, I said, well, what would you do, or what do you think would happen if you were a preacher for God and everything was great, and then suddenly your neighbors are rigging up all sorts of scaffolding, there's all sorts of plumbing going underneath your house, you're being hacked, there's someone crawling around in your loft, your house is being invaded, somebody keeps getting into your router, physically accessing it, messing with your vehicles full time. They're rigging up all sorts of torture devices. It's a hack, stalk, terrorize and torture, home invasions. We're being gassed as well, and we've got people interfering with the water. They're coming in and messing with the food, and they're kicking your cat until the cat's back is basically broken. And so damn shit scared of anyone outside on the fucking scaffolding, even though the cat is an indoor cat and has always been really friendly. Now he's really frightened of men, and he runs under the bed, and he's really frightened of people. And everyone you go to get help accuse you of being crazy. This sort of thing shouldn't happen. If you go to the police, they want to know who's doing it, why, and they want you to prove it and become a cybersecurity expert. They won't do anything about it, even though you know what's happening and you have a fairly good inkling who it is. No one will do anything about it. All your prayers are not answered, and your ministry basically comes to a grinding halt. Any other business also comes to a grinding halt. Your happiness also goes down the tube, in the bin, and any normal type of happy existence also goes out the window. Getting a normal night's sleep was no more to be heard of, and friendships are also just unheard of. Real friendships, the people can't be got to. And I said to him, so what would you do? What would you think? Would you think that God's with you? Or would you think that, God's not with you? What would you do? What would you think? Because these are questions that I've been asking. What I'm finding is, what goes through my mind is I meet ministers and people, or I come to know of ministers and people who are doing the work of the Lord, and they pray and whatever, and but they're not getting house invasions every time they go out. They're not being raped, and they're not being tortured. They're not being gassed. They're not being hacked. They're not being stalked. They're not being terrorized in their home full time, every second of every minute of every hour, every day. So what's going on? Is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Or is there something wrong with the other ones? I want to know, because also what's difficult in this situation is that you've got no one to talk to about it. Because if you go to a church and you want them to help you, because it's very similar to a poltergeist, they behave as if you're crazy. If you go to the police, they want to put you in a mental hospital and start selling your organs while you're still fucking alive. And you daren't tell anyone, because the moment you do, they're either damn frightened to get involved because it might happen to them, or they think you're a devil worshipper, or they're telling you that you must have got things wrong and God's punishing you. And it's just, and if they're a friend of yours, they'll probably laugh at you and make fun and think it's so damn fucking funny, like I've had. One time I had a friend over and I was in such a state over everything that was happening, and I was trying to talk to him about it, and then we had some music on and he kept sort of going to the music, because he really didn't want to fucking hear me. He didn't want to talk to me. He was there and he was having a great old giggle, and I was like, come on, can you listen? Yeah! That's so funny. No, it's not. It's not fucking funny, and it's fucking scary. I'll give you an example of how fucking scary it is. I took a bed apart. I took the bed out. I put a new bed base in my bedroom. I took all the little screws out of the old bed, and I put them all in a jar, and I actually put that in a different building to my own, just in case it was the screws that are being synchronized. I went to sleep in the bed after I'd made it and everything, and I'd got rid of all the other screws from the old bed. And in the morning when I woke up, guess what was right next to me, at head height? 2 screws and a nut from the old bed, which I very carefully took all the screws out and put them all in a jar, in a glass jar, sealed it, put it in a plastic bag and put it in a different building. Now you tell me, would that freak you out? Would that frighten you? Because I found it pretty frightening. And it put the hairs up me. And I didn't like it. And so, I don't mind. If God's against me, I don't mind that. I don't mind it, as long as I know. Of course I do mind. But you know what I'm saying? I'd rather know than not know. Yeah? It's a bit like, family who aren't supportive of you, right? And they're actually against you. With family like that, who needs enemies, right? So in these situations, you want to know who your friends are and who your enemies are. And you want to know if you're doing something right or if you're doing something wrong. Like if a dog shits in the corner of the house, you give it a damn good fucking hiding, right? So because you don't want that dog to shit in the corner again. Yeah? Right. But really, if you haven't let that dog out and he's pooed in the corner, it's really your fault. So you might want to give him a little bit of a, hey, don't do it there. You should have made a bigger racket that you want to go out or whatever. And a bit more kind. But if the dog shits in the corner of the house, are you going to smack the cat? You going to smack the cat for it? No, of course not. So, discipline is needed where it is needed. And if someone gets a damn good fucking belting and they don't know what it's for, and they don't know if they're getting a belting because they're a kind person or if they're a bad person, then that's going to mess that person up, I think. I mean, I'm just talking about what would you do, right? What would you think? So every time I meet a minister or a preacher or somebody and things are going okay for them, I wonder if they're doing it right or if they're doing it wrong, or if I'm doing something right or if I'm doing something wrong. All I can tell you is I'm really humbly walking along my life at the moment, and I'm a witness to my own destruction in horror. I just like, oh, okay, what's going to go next? Yeah, okay. But this kind of thing happened to Joseph in the Bible. And his brothers sold him to the Ishmaelites, and then he was in prison. And then he worked for Potiphar. And his wife came on to him and accused him of trying to rape her, only to be thrown back into the prison again. And all this time, I think it was it 40 years? So many years he was there, 30 years at least, I'm sure. It was a long time he was there before he was released and became second in line to Pharaoh. Finally, for interpreting the dreams for Pharaoh about the cupbearer and the bread maker. So I suppose Joseph could have thought the same, but also what God really emphasized in the Bible was how much he liked the fact that Joseph was celibate and he wouldn't sleep with this woman. So he made Joseph better looking. And I thought that was very interesting. And how loyal and dedicated to the Lord Joseph was. But also, when his brothers sold him, he didn't tell anyone in the kingdom what had happened to him. He kept that between him and the Lord. And he suffered in his own anguish. And it must have hurt him quite a lot. And then when the brothers came to Egypt, looking for food because the famine had now really hit their village as well. Jacob, his father, had sent them to come and look for food, and they didn't recognize Joseph. And Joseph had some tears over this. That his brothers had sold him, and now they were coming there asking for food, and they had no idea who he was. And how he forgave them. I kind of feel a bit like that Joseph. But it's hard to know. I suppose Joseph didn't have a counselor or somebody to talk to either. And he just had to muddle through it when everyone turned against him. But from my point of view, I just find it's all just a bit too much for me. It's like a full-on terror. I was telling my friend tonight on the phone, I said, when Daniel had his visions, he had to write them down and try and remember everything. And he'd ask the angel to interpret them and everything. And then he'd tell you what he thought, And he'd say, oh my gosh, this was just so horrendous. I just didn't want to look at it or think about it ever again. It was just so horrible. He said he became pale and unwell from the visions and what he saw. And I guess you could say that I've become sort of pale and unwell by what I'm witnessing in this world. And, well, some of it's, very similar to a poltergeist. It just makes you wonder, what the hell is going on in the world? Like I've got every night radiation lights that come on. They're so bright. And you can see when they've come on. They're just so bright, And I've got a neighbour that used to have lovely dark curtains, has suddenly got pale curtains. And he's always got his lights shining through them really brightly at my house. And other neighbours too, the same. All angled. I've got aerials pointed at my bedroom or at the bathroom. No need. Middle of the house, not at the roof level. I mean, it's just like, What would you think? What would you imagine? Like I say, you know, you can accuse me of being crazy if you want, but I can tell you that every time I go to stroke my little cat, he jolts when I stroke his back. He used to love everyone. Now he's frightened of men. And every time he saw the men on the scaffolding, as I say, he'd run and flee. Like he was so damn frightened of these fucking people on the scaffolding who did all sorts of things to the windows so that they could lift them off their hinges. Literally. And I was just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe what I was experiencing, and I also couldn't believe the response when I went to churches and asked them, can you please pray for me? I think I'm under a spiritual attack and all of this kind of thing. They asked me how I was getting on with the demons the next week, you know, and I just thought, well, yeah, man, this is horrible, isn't it? Eh? So you're under a spiritual attack, so you try and go to a church to get some support, and you're laughed at, or you're called a devil worshipper. You know, and it's just all a bit backwards for me. I'm having a little bit of difficulty understanding, I think. Like I was saying to my friend, it's like a spiritual attack, a cyber attack, a gassing, intoxication with nano being put into your water, your drains, all sorts of hacking and, you know, stuff like this. Plus the home invasions of the neighbors and the little foreign Indian guys and all of those nice chaps, you know. And all sorts of strange criminals coming in and out of your house all the time, every time you pop out, vandalizing your vehicles, making sure you can't communicate. Your phone says you're not connected to the Wi-Fi, even though you are connected to the Wi-Fi every time you try and do anything. And when you try and phone someone on WhatsApp, it says to anyone you're trying to phone that this person's Wi-Fi is not compatible with WhatsApp, like happened to me tonight. And if you want to use your own Wi-Fi, you basically need 10 or 20 phones all connected to the same Wi-Fi at the same time, so that you can be sure that you really are using your own fucking Wi-Fi. Not some wanker's Wi-Fi, some psychopath who's trying to rig up some torture device to your private area to electronically torture you tonight. I just never thought I would see these days. And when I was talking to my friend as well, I was like, yeah, so did you get your vaccine? Yeah, you did, okay. And what about these guys that are ministering? Did they get their vaccines? Yeah. Well, they need to have their vaccines, you know, because they don't want to get the flu and whatever. Okay. Do you celebrate Christmas? Yeah. Do they celebrate Christmas? Yes, of course. Oh, great. Whoopie-doo. So we're celebrating pagan festivals. Nice. Brilliant. They're not under attack. They had their vaccines. Brilliant. Super. What's going on here? I don't understand. But I'd love to know. I don't mind if I'm in the wrong. I really don't mind. I'm happy with it. At least I'd know. You know what I mean? But like that dog shitting in the fucking corner of the house. Is it the dog? Is it the person who's left the dog locked in? Or maybe it was the cat? And these are the things that go through my mind. And these are questions that I ask. And like I say, I'm frightened to try and interact with anybody for several reasons. Lots of fake targeted individuals. Lots of people can be paid off. And lots of people are very comfortable to, just not give a damn as well. I found it's a bit like this. If you want some help, first you've got to talk about someone else's problems and give them their fair share of the conversation so that you can hear all about their problems so that they might help you as well. And in those situations, I just think, it's no point, because this person's got problems and they don't really want to hear mine. And really, they need help from me about their problems. So their problems are more important than anything else. So let's forget any help. I'm not going to get any help from them or from anyone else. Or you might also get what I've had is the character assassination, which I also had. And as I say, it's a bit like beating yourself up, smashing your head against a fucking wall, and then just trying to figure out which is the best way to put your fucking self back together again after all that. If you actually want to, maybe it's better just to dig a grave and get in it, Fuck knows. I'm so tired of it. What's the fucking point? Really. Exhausting. But I'm not the only one going through this. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of targeted individuals who are under attack full-time, harassment, stalking, home invasions, gassing, messing with the food, messing with the water, messing with the drains, washing machines, all appliances, people coming in your house. You got witchcraft, you got the hacking, the cyber attack, the stalking, and I have no idea what to make of it. All I know is my life is now a horror show. And this is my life. And that's that. Happy days. And you can't talk to anyone, you can't get any help. And if you do tell anyone, they'll take you into a mental hospital and rob you of your organs. Great. And you can't have any friends because the people who are child-eating, blood-drinking psychopaths are going to befriend them all. And you can pray to God, but God's not going to stop them. And the government's not going to do anything. The police won't do anything. The churches won't help you. And no lock will keep these guys out, And if you've got a pet, then they'll probably kick your pet and nearly break its back. And still no one would do anything. Every time I stroke my cat and he flinches, it makes me so fucking angry. People are so damn cruel. How dare you? You don't even know me. You don't know anything about me. But also, there was a conversation that took place about someone I know who is a very wealthy man and he lives far away. And I look after things for him in his absence when he's not here. And for me, I find it a real honor. And I'm very respectful because I was saying I always call him, I don't call him by his first name. I always call him by Mr. Brown or whatever, right? I would never dream of calling him his first name because, as far as I'm concerned, this man has a lot of power and I don't want to disrespect him. And I was also saying to this man that in a way, it's a good job that he lives really far away. Because I think that if he was more local, hands-on, there wouldn't be the level of respect that he commands, being so distant. And anyway, someone was saying that familiarity breeds contempt. And I was like, that's an interesting phrase. Because I think that familiarity does breed contempt. And why? Because people become familiar and comfortable, then they become jealous. Because you become friendly with them, and now they feel that they know who you are. And I found this as well, in life. If there's somebody who starts getting ahead and they work with people in their office or they live in an area, those people around them don't want them to get out or get ahead or succeed. They want to bring them down and keep them down. And sometimes if somebody who is helping some not so favorable people and wants to help them, those people become jealous and want to destroy the person who was actually trying to help them, which is what happened to me. Yeah, it's interesting, it is. Now you can understand why some people just keep themselves to themselves. Don't bother trying to help anyone. If you do, they might just destroy you, So interesting, I think. But this is the world we live in. And you got to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. And I think I've just kissed so many frogs that I don't think I'll ever find a prince. I look at it all a bit cynically now. And it's a similar feeling. I get it every time when I have these sort of situations that I'm now in. I have been in for 3 years. It's sort of a dreadful feeling of helplessness, hopelessness, just reaching the end of your tether, where it's like being watched and stalked and followed all in one go. Like when I'm really being stalked and hacked and followed, I'll go in a shop and there'll be like 20 people all around me. And I've got a bag and it's got a catch that goes over the top and a button. But it is quite full. And so basically what I do is I clench that bag under my arm because people are just getting a bit too close and I really don't like it. And it starts making me feel uncomfortable, And at one time, that's what my life reminds me of right now, though. I feel like I've got to clench my bag wherever I go. If I want to go to the toilet, I've got to take my handbag with me. This kind of thing. It's in my own home as well. It's just a horrible feeling. It feels like I'm living in a hostel full of druggy people. It's horrible, it is. Can't relax. Like if I want to go out, I was thinking about it. If I want to go out, I can't just leave my bag on the kitchen surface and go out. I've got to quickly hide everything away, make sure that it's locked. Everything that could be hacked or got to is locked away or put away. And if I've done anything to stop the EMF effects, I've got to quickly change it all around so that they don't know what I did to stop the effects. Because otherwise they'll modify it all, And it's just a constant, oh gosh, my feet are hurting type thing. There'll be that current there. Oh, I'll put this there and then that will stop that. Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, it's so nice to have feet that aren't being cooked for a while. Phew. But I mustn't forget to put it somewhere different when I go out so they don't know what I did to stop my feet being cooked because they want to cook my feet every 2 fucking seconds. Wankers. And this is what I'm dealing with, and it's like, it's horrendous. It's just awful. And I worked out that when the hot water's not on, the water out of the hot tap is actually colder than out of the cold tap. Believe it or not. Isn't that interesting? And if the heating's not on, sometimes the radiators actually feel like freezers. It's like someone's actually hooked it up to a freezer. And when I switch off my boiler, it's not actually off. I can still hear it running inside. Same sort of weird stuff. And, I so desperately want to be able to meet somebody who says, oh, it's all right. I know what you're going through. Yeah, you're being stalked. You're being hacked. You're being cyber attacked. There's witchcraft as well. And you're being gassed. Home invasions. They've cloned your phone, cloned your identity, cloned your SIM card. They're also torturing you. And they've rigged up all sorts of things to the plug sockets so that they can actually switch off independent plug sockets. They can switch on and off your router and then hook up a fake router. They've got spoofing Wi-Fi's and spoofing networks. Like if you've got an EE SIM card, suddenly you'll have 20 or 30 EE free Wi-Fi's in your drain outside your front door, like me. This is what I've got, and I'm not imagining it. And I can't even get the Wi-Fi in my own home upstairs. And will I have a Wi-Fi extender? Oh no, because I certainly don't want the hacker, stalker, blood-drinking psychopath getting hold of my Wi-Fi. So yeah, back to the question. Should I be thinking that I'm closer to the Lord? Because my friend was saying, oh, yeah, if you're under attack, it's because you're getting closer to the Lord. I said, getting closer to the Lord? Are you joking? I haven't been close to the Lord since this started. I'm under a hack attack full time. Never get a rest, never get any peace or joy or happiness. And I haven't been able to do any of the work I would do normally. All I do now is interview other victims like me. Try and find other people I can talk to. And I said, no, I'm like the sort of Mother Goose, really. Trying to offer support and talk about what's happening to me so that they know that it's not just them. Like I talk to everybody about what happens to me because frankly, it might help someone and it may not. And it may be great for the, child-eating, blood-drinking psychopaths to listen to me. And, for them, maybe they will have some compassion for me. And think, we are fucking sick psychopaths. Maybe we should stop doing this. Or maybe it gives them a kick and they think, hey, it's so funny. Hooray! Another person destroyed. I wonder how long it'll be before she kills herself, this one. Let's place our bets. Oh, well. We missed out 20 minutes of terror today. Well, we better make sure she doesn't get any peace tomorrow. Hee hee hee. Wankers. I don't know. You tell me. What an evil world it is, eh? I think. And, yeah, like I say, don't know what to think. I'm just, as you can see here, disappointed, fed up, really tired, traumatized, frightened, and can't believe that this is the world I live in. And yeah, it's a spiritual attack for sure. But it's also physically an attack. It's a gassing. I mean, these are people that have highly organized their little crew to lay out and replumb central heating to become central freezers, and hot water to become central freezing water instead of hot water. I put the boiler on and it becomes freezing cold sometimes. Put the fridge on, oh my goodness me, it's like the whole house becomes a fridge. Don't run the fridge then. Who needs a fridge? Who needs a boiler? Who needs a phone anyway? If it's going to be used to torture you, why does Apple create iPhones that have no safety? Why? I mean, Apple must know about the safety of their own devices. They must know. You know, when I was using my SIM card before last year, in order to upload a video, guess what I had to do? I had to phone myself and be on the phone, not talking or anything, but making sure that my phone knew that my SIM card was in my phone, so that I could use the data on my phone to upload the video on my phone to the platform I wanted to upload it to. If I didn't do that, then I'd be waiting an hour to upload a video. And it's like this now with my Wi-Fi. Take an hour to do a video, to upload it. And if I want to do captions, forget it. There's no way I can do captions sometimes. Because my phone I'll be doing that and it says, sorry, we can't do that while you're not connected to the internet. But I am connected. My phone says I'm connected, but I'm not really. Because I'm connected to some child-eating, blood-drinking psychopaths spoofing Wi-Fi. And like you say, I'm past caring. Whether you think I'm crazy or not, this is happening to me. You know, when Nebuchadnezzar became too big for his boots, yeah, and he thought he was the bigwig, right? You know what God did? He made him go and eat grass for 7 years like a dog. But now I just wonder if that's maybe what God's doing to me. Where he just thought, she just thinks she's just so too important. You know, let's bring her down a few pegs. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But no one can make any sense of it. And I can't. And all I can tell you is if like for me, when I meet someone who's going through this, I want to try and be there for them, reassure them they're not alone, be there to support them through it, and give them some type of direction out of it. But, for me, I just feel like I'm totally swept away into some horror. It's like hell. So bad it is, I wish I was never born. That's the way I think. I used to be such a happy person. But then I know I'm not the only one. The world is really horrible now, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's horrible. Soon people will be looking at you with an appetite to eat you. Because there's going to be a famine. It's going to be bad. So I suppose what I'm going through is nothing compared to what that's going to be like. When people are eyeing up your body mass and thinking, God, I bet she'll be tasty. Cooked up. Or eyeing up your child. looks delicious, that one. And this is what we already have anyway with the adrenochrome dealers and the pedophiles and the psychopaths and the blood drinkers. Oh, I bet she's got a nice heart. I wouldn't mind that heart. Book her in for a bit of harassment, stalking, terrorizing, home invasions. Maybe she'll kill herself and we can have that heart out of her. Maybe we can steal all her consciousness as well. Oh, it's like a horror film. Evil. Anyway, I just wanted to give you my side and ask you what you would do. What do you think? Do you think that the people who are being hacked, stalked, tortured, raped, terrorized, gassed, hacked, followed, without a minute peace, are they good people? Or do you think they're bad people? What do you think? Do you think the preachers, they're being left alone, and everything's great and dandy and they can go off preaching the gospel? Do you think they're doing something right? What do you think? Please make comments. I'd love to know what you think. I don't mind. You can tell me I'm a devil worshipper if you like. That's what I've been told by my neighbour. I'm a devil worshipper, apparently. Because I don't celebrate Christmas. And I won't celebrate pagan festivals. Because I believe the Bible. All right then, so Ayesha from God FM. If you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple, X, TikTok, and loads of others. And you can find me as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, and God FM Group, and God FM Media. You can email me, admin@godfm.org.uk, and you can WhatsApp me, +44 777 777 But don't be surprised if there's some wankers picking up the phone, because some wanker's taken over my identity and cloned my phone, my SIM card, does home invasion, gasses me every day, tortures me. Right now my feet are being cooked. It's not really my feet that are being cooked. What's actually happening is they've put stuff in my air, they've put stuff in my food, in my drinks, my water supply, in my drains, in my toilet, so that just a tiny speck of this stuff can grow to the size of an arm in a few seconds by being activated by the EMF lights that they point at my house all the time. Great, isn't it? All right then. So, welcome to my world of horror. No good news here today. I'll ever have some good news for you. But it would be nice sometime soon, wouldn't it, eh? To be able to smile again. Have a good day. It's Ayesha from God FM. Take care.